as we move forward, in your opinion? Without further ado, let's bring our friend in. Big C, Zander Krause joins us now here on the.
What's up, Sills? How you doing, brother?
What's going on, brother? You look good,
Not
dude.
much, man.
You look good.
How's my setup? I did a different setup today. All right, good.
Looks great.
I've been trying to fix the internet. What's going on, bro? Ash Wednesday. I got my ashes. They're looking pretty good. I think the priest did a good job today with the cross. So I hope everybody's having a good Ash Wednesday. And yesterday was Fat Tuesday. I went to Altamonte's, which is an Italian deli in Doylestown, and I got cannolis. They're freshly made every day. All right, I got a pistachio baguette type of thing that was like, oh my God, it was unbelievable. And a bunch more shit, and I ate it all night, and now I'm going to be on a Lent, no more sugar, none of that crap for me in Lent. So I ate good last night, brother.
How about this? Let me ask you about the cannoli. It's all in the shell, you know.
Oh,
so
yeah.
How was the shell?
Altamonte's. This is a real.
Okay.
When you're in there, it's all paisans. That's a real Italian place. It's not like
so there's not an Irishman in there like cooking Italian food.
And if they are, it's because they're wishing they were Italians.
All right, Z, let me start some questions out here for you, bro. Jeff Stoutland's departure, what impact do you think it has on future Eagle O-lines?
I think a big impact. It's one of my number one concerns. I mean, if you think about it, Silsberg, we're about to draft some O-linemen here. All right. And for, I'd say 10 plus years, Jeff's been here longer than that. But until he really had the type of, trust and confidence of the team, 10 plus years, Sills, we've never doubted. When you draft an offensive lineman, if that offensive lineman is good, then the Eagles are going to get the most out of that offensive lineman. Now I think that's a question. You don't know that to be true. I mean, I certainly don't know that with Chris Cooper. Definitely not. Now, I don't know what Chris Cooper could be. Maybe he could be a decent, coach, but he certainly doesn't have the pedigree or the track record, and he doesn't inspire the confidence that Jeff Stoutland inspired. I mean, I kid you not, Sills. Most of the end, and I think this is where Eagle fans might struggle with learning this, and I'm in the same boat. Offensive line is maybe the number one problem in the NFL for every team, maybe more so than quarterback, is offensive lines. We don't live like that in Philly. We haven't lived like that in Philly. So this is a big change here, and I don't know if we draft Caden Proctor in round one. He could be good, but are we sure we're going to get the most out of him? I'm not anymore. So I think it's a big thing to watch, dude. I really think it's a big deal.
How many more years do you think Vic Fangio has coaching this defense?
One.
Okay.
I think this is his last year.
1 year. That leads me to this. When Fangio leaves, are you concerned that this defense collapses again?
Oh, yeah. But, the one thing I think that's going – look, that's going to be a concern anytime you lose a great – you know what I mean? The coaches – where the Patriots concerned when Belichick,
this would be in 2 years. You lose Stoutland and Vic.
Wow. Yeah, right. It's a big deal. But what I'm hopeful for, or where I will remain optimistic, is you do have young, impressionable players on that defense. And Cooper DeJean and Quinyon Mitchell, they started their career with Vic Fangio. Zach Bond became a great player with Vic Fangio. This is why I don't want to let Nakobe Dean go. You're going to let Nakobe Dean go. That's the guy who will bridge the gap. Not Zach Bond. Zach Bond will be gone. So, but I do think you have a lot of young guys. You got Jaelan and Jordan Davis. I mean, there's a clip of Jordan Davis. I'm not sure who's seen it, but I don't know if it was the Hard Knocks or when it was put out, but Jordan Davis is on the side of the practice field, and he walks up to Vic Fangio and basically is jokeful with him, but he tells him like how much Vic means to him. You basically changed my life as a player. So you have these young players that hopefully are impressionable and hopefully have learned a lot from Vic Fangio and can steady the waters for when he leaves. But when you lose a coach, as good as Vic Fangio, it's going to be tough to replace. There's no doubt. That's part of what makes, great people, great coaches, great players aren't easy to replace.
I want to show you something here. And I want to tell you if this moves your needle at all in AJ being here or not. So I asked Drew Rosenhaus if you could move and restructure contracts prior to being traded. He wrote me back this. NFL contract can be restructured before a trade to facilitate the move, typically by converting base salary into signing bonus to reduce the current team's cap hit or lower the immediate cash burden on the acquiring team. This requires, of course, the player's consent and often involves extending the contract or by adding, like Howie does, void years. Mechanisms. Teams convert base salary to roster bonus into a signing bonus. You could spread that out as many as 5 years, Sills. Player consent. He's got to be able to have the okay of the player to form this agreement. Trade benefits. He said, Dan, this maneuver can reduce a player's salary cap charge, making them more attractive for potential trading partners, as seen what Howie does when he uses the option bonus. Howie's notorious for doing that when he moves a guy. Timing. While restructures often happen in the offseason, they can also be done immediately prior to a trade to make the numbers work for both parties. Has that moved at all that you could make that cap number and all those things we were talking about yesterday a less of a factor on your football team to move him, if indeed that's what has to happen here? Does that move it in your percentage now that you know you could defer this money out now and it won't be a direct cap hit on you?
Yeah, but the problem with that is that Philly already has a lot of money deferred out, and
48 million.
And it's not the problem is not the money deferred out. The problem is if you run into a problem like this. You know, the way Howie Roseman does contracts, it works really well. But if you mess up the evaluation, or you sign the wrong player, or your player in the peak of their contract year wants out, that's when that's when it gets a lot more muddy. If you sign all the right guys, and AJ and Devontae and Jaelan and everybody, and it all works, and the great players are keep being great, and you keep signing them to extend. I mean, think about it. AJ Brown got an extension after 2 years of a 4-year deal. That's like unheard of.
Yeah.
But that's because they identified, all right, it's a great player. We're going to keep him here. Let's get the signing bonus to him now and kick that cap out so we're going to be able to open ourselves up. It worked. But the second AJ wants out, all of a sudden that contract is a lot harder to move on from. So, you know, a big part of the way they do business is really making the right decisions. So it's a big hurdle, you know, and this I think would throw a wrench in how they're doing contracts, and certainly would throw a wrench in maybe the Carter deal, the Davis deal, the Jaelan Phillips deal. I mean, Sills, I gave the 3 names this morning. Even if you want to be conservative, you know, forget even being liberal. Jaelan Phillips, Jordan Davis, and Jalen Carter, they're going to add up, what, 30, 35, 25, and 15, that or 20. I think it's 20 for Jordan, plus 25 for Jaelan Phillips. That's 45. Plus, let's call it 30 for
Carter.
That's $75 million, brother.
And one off.
I mean, in one off season. Now, I don't think they're going to pay all 3 of them this. Yeah, right, on defense. So it's going to get interesting. I do not think, unfortunately, this is the year to move on from AJ Brown. I really don't. Now, maybe they could make it happen, but
okay. So I believe on March 17th, Lane Johnson's owed $9 million.
Yeah, Lane's a big cap hit, dude. I think he's bigger than $9 million.
I thought it was a bonus. He was owed $9 million.
Well, yeah, it's probably structured that it's not a crazy hit, but I mean, look, let me see.
I don't know what the hit is. I just know he's got a bonus coming up here in about 10 days.
Okay, yeah, well, that's relevant because you'll probably know it's already kind of been reported that he is going to come back. I don't think it's confirmed yet. I haven't heard it from the man himself, but I think he'll be back.
So you're cool with that, right?
Yeah. Assuming he comes back, I am.
My question will be what type of lane you get back.
Yeah,
It's not
well,
whether I want. It's not whether I want him. I don't want him back. It's that.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. What do you think the future of the tush push is?
Done. It's got to be done. I mean, you have two offensive linemen right now who are, let's just be accurate. Cam Jurgens' age. One is 26 and one is 27. And both of them look like they're 32-year-old players.
Yes.
I mean, seriously, and I don't say that as a knock on them. That's legitimately how much of a beating.
Road wear.
Right, good word, road wear. And still, these were not Joe Schmo offensive linemen. These were very good offensive linemen. Very good. Top of the top. And they're Yep. I mean, I think you got to retire it, man. I don't see the purpose of doing this to the O-line. You know, Jason Kelsey's on record. He said it took years off my career. It takes years off people's careers, especially offensive linemen. So I would shelf it, man. You know, the other thing is that where I agree with John is I think they're going to be pretty successful with a regular quarterback sneak. I mean, before the tush push was invented, Sills, they were one of the best quarterback sneak teams in football with Carson Wentz.
Carson Wentz was 26-29 on attempts. He was very successful.
And Jalen is a beast when it comes to the lower body strength. I mean, I think you're going to be fine without it, but I would shelf it. I really would. I wouldn't run that anyway. I don't think the juice is worth the squeeze. You know, I don't want them to ban it, Senor Answer. I don't think they need to ban your play. But this is a good example of why banning it was always stupid to begin with. Because the NFL will
it would
correct
wear
itself
out.
Yeah. Well, either defenses pick up on it or what you're seeing is happening, you know, that it ultimately cost the Eagles more than it cost our opponents.
That's right.
So, you know, it handles itself.
You know what, though? That tush push got me into 2 Super Bowls and won one of them. And if it cost me 2 old linemen, you know, I'm all right with that.
Yeah, but here's where I push back. Really? Is the tush push what got you to the Super Bowl?
I don't know. There were a lot of touchdowns in there, boss.
Dude, it was not the reason you got to the Super Bowl.
When you start out every series 1st and 9, that shit adds up, dude. I mean, listen, I agree with you. That's not the only reason, but that's an intimidating thing, bro. When you got something that you know in short yardage, you're getting it. How does this sound to you? Close your eyes for a second. Kayvon Thibodeau.
Okay.
Jalen Carter. Jordan Davis. Jalix Hunt. Nolan Smith Swing. Zach Bond. Jahad Campbell and Jacoby as a front 7. How's that sound?
It sounds okay. It sounds marginally better. Maybe not even as good as Jaelan Phillips in that group. So so now you want to let Phillips walk, waste of a 3rd-round pick for half a season. Mm-hmm. You want to trade A.J. Brown, and you want to bring in an as expensive Kayvon Thibodeau for more draft capital.
Well, you were under.
That's one of the worst moves I've ever heard.
Hold on for a second. Well, this may come down on Howie anyway as a bad move with Phillips.
What a shit move, Sil.
Well, how about this?
You better cover up that Robustelli jersey because people are going to start wondering if you're a double agent.
Wait a second here. Let me ask you this, though. If that guy Phillips doesn't get signed, you wasted a 3rd rounder on what, 9 games?
Well, if you let him walk anyway, you're still wasting it. Now you're trading A.J. Brown for a lesser player.
You're never going to get the value anyway. A lesser player? I'm trying to get – well, I would have to get something back in return.
Yeah, Kayvon Thibodeau is not enough.
Kayvon Thibodeau in a 3. What do you think? Kayvon Thibodeau in a 3?
I just is Kayvon he's okay. He was the 5th overall draft pick. He hasn't lived up to it a single year of his career.
I heard you two guys talking.
In fact, they even drafted Abdul Carter.
Fucking Jaelan Phillips for $23 million. You're never going there.
Who's not going there?
Howie ain't going $23 million for that Phillips kid.
Howie's going wherever. Well, maybe.
He'd rather go Bradley Chubb for 12 and get the same dude.
But Bradley Chubb's a 1-year deal.
Okay. and he's a
So you
free
want
agent.
to, dude? Are you corrupting us? You want another Band-Aid?
Wait, but he's a free agent. It's not going to cost you any assets.
Dude, Sills.
Hey,
My blinker is on. My
okay.
blinker is on, Sills.
I don't know what anybody thought that they were going to sign Jaelan Phillips with some sort of like deal. I never thought he was coming back.
What they send a 3rd-round pick for him then? That's a big pick. John brought
Because
up the best point yet on
okay.
that. He said, "You know what's unlike Howie? Forget paying the guy for a second. What's unlike Howie is wasting a 3rd-round pick on 9 games."
Well, wait a second. What'd you give up for that guy, Ja'Cory, that guy Bennett? What was the pick you gave up for that guy?
We didn't give up a pick for him. We gave up.
I thought you traded for him.
We gave up Thomas Booker,
and I thought you got something in return for him.
I don't remember exactly the deal. I can look it up. Give me a second.
I thought it was a 5th. I don't think it was a 3rd.
I thought we gave up Thomas Booker, didn't we?
Yeah, but I thought it was Booker and a number. I may be wrong.
Geez, that would be a bad trade. I mean, it's already a bad trade. Ja'Cory and Bennett trade.
Okay.
No, it was a player for player.
Player for player. Okay, I thought it was. Okay,
yeah.
Now here, I'm not paying that guy $23 million. I don't think he's worth it.
I agree with you, but this is my question: $23 million, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what is the alternative? So, like, if you're saying he's worth 18 and you don't want to give him 23, are the hoops that you're going to have to go through to replace the player to save $5 million, are they worth the hoops? I don't know. I really don't know. I get
who else do I have to pay?
Rich, but
who else do I have to pay? Because who else I have to pay else dictates. If I didn't have to pay anybody else, 23 is not a big deal.
Yeah, but where are you going to get the other edge to replace him if he walks? That's my biggest thing with him. It's not even about that I don't want to lose Phillips. I don't think Phillips is irreplaceable.
Hey,
but
Joe, you don't really believe Jaelan Phillips is a better football player than Max Crosby, do you?
No. That was crazy comment by John. That was a wild comment by John.
He's fucking really a great player. He's an
Max Crosby is a damn good player.
He ain't getting $35 million because he gets 9 sacks. He had 10 sacks last year. He's there because he's a really good ball player, dude. I mean, that guy can play. Man, how about this? You put a guy like Max Crosby on the defensive line with Quinnen Williams in Dallas. Dallas has got something.
Yeah, but this is my problem with that for Dallas. You had that. Now, you didn't have Quinnen.
No, but I get Quinnen and that dude at $6 million cheaper annually.
All right, so what would that look like then for Dallas? Because Dallas they got 2 first-round picks for Micah, and then
they'd send one of the Green Bay picks probably to the Raiders.
So they used one for Quinnen, and they would use the other one for Max Crosby.
Yep.
So instead of having Micah, you'd have Quinnen Williams and Max Crosby,
and that other
$6 million of savings.
And that other guy and Clark.
And Kenny Clark. And who's the other guy?
The kid who's making 20. What's his name?
Oh, yeah, but he wasn't in a trade. I'm looking at strictly the trade.
Oh, no. Yeah. That's a pretty good front 7, dude. They still need help at linebacker.
Yeah, and that's not a bad return for Michael Parsons. I mean, if you get Max Crosby, Max Crosby's 28. I think he's got at least 3 good years left. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Now, the thing with Max that's interesting is he did peak in 23, and he hasn't played as well. He is with the Raiders. There's some caveats and some context there, but that would actually, it'd be hard to criticize that move for Dallas if they turn Micah into Max, Quinnen. Do they have any extra picks? No, right? They only got the 2 first. Do they get like a 3rd or a 4th or anything?
What if they bring in Kobe then too?
Yeah, it's funny. I actually think they're gonna. Like, I think if Nakobe doesn't sign in Philly, my prediction is that it's in
He
Dallas.
follows Parker to Dallas.
Yep. I hope not.
Man, so you have
I'm of the belief that Nakobe Dean is a phenomenal football player. I
see,
really am.
don't you agree that if Dallas is not 32 and they're 15 in total defense, Dallas can make it to a divisional round? Keeping Pickens, having
Yeah,
CD.
but here's the thing with Dallas, and this is where I'll give them credit, and people hate when I give them credit, but I prefer to be objective and real. This is where Philly 500 is right. Like, in theory, if Dallas fixed the defense, yeah, they'd be a playoff contender. But I have legitimately zero evidence. They didn't have shitty defenses every single year of Dak
No,
Prescott's campaign.
no.
No, they did not. They don't win in the big moments, dude. So until they prove me otherwise, it's hard for me to. I mean, they could do all the moves on defense that make
Okay.
them look perennial, but it's hard for me to buy in until I see it. Now, I do think they're going to be a wicked good offense again.
I don't disagree with anything you said there. Do you think Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold have changed narratives on how have played the last 3 years in their careers? So do you think it's
Absolutely.
possible for quarterbacks
Yes.
to change a narrative?
Yeah, and I think Dak is a prime candidate for that. I don't think that. See, where I disagree with Philly and others is I don't think Dak is the number one problem. Like, I don't think when you look at the lack of playoff success, I don't think Dak is the number one problem in that. Is he a part of it? Absolutely.
Yes.
You're the quarterback. You have to wear that. Yes, you wear that crown, no matter if you like it or if you don't, or if it's true or if it's not. You do. But I think if that, remember what people used to say about Stafford?
Yeah.
Now he's elite. Now he's
He
one
was
of the best in the game.
0-4.
Now he's a Hall of Famer.
He was 0-4 in Detroit.
Right. So, I don't. I think that can be changed very quick. Yeah, but I got to see it a little bit from that Dallas team. Remember, it's not just Dak, dude. It's the Joneses. It's keeping up with the cheerleader. I mean, that's an ordeal. That place.
I'll tell you what, though, too. John Elway was 0-3 in Super Bowls, and that changed even for him when he won the final 2 Super Bowls. Do you think Howie Roseman is going to make a splash in free agency, or do you think he's going to make a trade? Which one do you think is more? Which do you think is more possible? A splash in a trade or a splash in free agency?
Trade. Now, I will say that it's both of them kind of feel unlikely right now, like because they don't have that many draft picks. Now, I could see like a trade up, something like that.
On draft.
If you're talking about like taking one of their picks, I could see like a 2027 pick being sent, but this year's picks, they don't have that many. I don't know how liberal Howie's going to be with sending those suckers out. He likes his draft picks. He always has. So I don't know. And then you look at free agency and it's like, here's the thing with free agency for me this year. Outside of cornerback 2, and if Reed walks a safety, and look, we don't know yet because we have to see who leaves, but I don't really see the glare. Yeah, but in my head, I think Phillips is going to be back.
Okay.
So if let's just say for the sake of the argument, if Phillips is back, where do you think they need to make the big splash in free agency?
Corner.
But it probably wouldn't be a splash, right? It'd probably be like a better version of a Dory Jackson, like maybe a 1 or 2 year guy for 8 to 10 mil, an Isaiah Rodgers type of deal.
Jamel Dean.
I like that, actually.
Jamel Dean played Pro Bowl football last year.
And how's he line up in the Fangio defense?
Man, well, he played in he plays in the Todd Bowles defense.
Yeah.
And that's almost a carbon copy. It's a Tampa 2. You put Jamel Dean on the other side of Quinton Mitchell, your defense will be in the top 5.
He's 29 years old.
They
Not
made
bad.
him. Here's what I'll tell you.
And what do you think his value is going to be this summer? Because that's actually a good name. I actually like that name.
Okay, put that in the chart and see what his street.
Let me
value
put that. Let me put that.
Let me tell you what he did. Jason Light was playing fucking politics because that guy Benjamin Morrison. They made him take an $8.5 million pay cut. You know what he said? Fine, whack the final year of my deal. He played Pro Bowl ball. He got.
Oh yeah, they voided it.
They voided it. He's now going to be a free agent. He's one of the highest rated guys. So he might be a pricey dude. I don't know.
It says the market value right now, not a perfect number, but is 12.5 average annual.
Okay.
Market value would be 3-year, $37 million deal.
Dude,
Feels a little rich for me with 2 first-round corners on the team.
Well, one's a slot. I'm talking about getting it.
No, I there's a spot for him, but I don't know about. I mean, asset allocation is more what I'm looking at here.
Well, here you move off Phillips, you sign Chubb, you put him out there. There's your 23.
Yeah, maybe.
Don't you get better in the masses?
You sound like you don't want to pay Jaelan Phillips.
I want him on the football team bad, and I'd love the guy. You know I do.
But you don't want you don't like the number.
I know Drew Rosenhaus. It's not Phillips. I believe Jaelan Phillips wants to play in Philadelphia and for Vic Fangio, but you know what he's going to do? He's going to tell him, we're getting the best deal for you and your family. You get hurt sometimes. You've missed some games in your career. I'm getting you the best deal possible.
Especially a guy with 2 big injuries.
That's correct. He's going to put it out there for him. Hey, listen, you want to stay in Philly? You can play 3-4 years there, and they love you and want you. Or you can go to Tennessee and sign for $24 million, $24.5, and get a bag of money up front, and everything's said and done. You made your money. What do you want to do? And Drew's notorious for that, dude. I know the agent. It's not really the player. I know the agent.
Right.
Okay? What'd you make of my Mike Evans conversation?
About what refresh me. I was doing some
All
shit.
right. I said this about Evans. Mike Evans' agent, Derek Gilmore, came out yesterday and said Mike wants to come back and he wants to play. And he believes, I think Mike's got at least 2 years left in the tank where I think he's a really good player. Is he Mike Evans of a couple years ago? Obviously not. But do I think this guy, is he Julio Jones? No, not that. Remember, you hurt a shoulder, not a knee or an ankle or a foot, what have you. He wants to play. My question would be, let's say you lose AJ. You need a presence out there. You can't just sign a dude. You got to cover Mike Evans.
What do you think his market value is? Because I don't hate the idea at all.
Okay. Now, would you be willing to pay $20 million for that?
No.
Even if AJ redoes his deal so they can – you're
saving
12. Now, this is all –
feels rich to me.
This is all – well, dude, if people were talking about moving off AJ – you got to put a presence out there.
You got to. I agree. This is what I agree with you. You're not going to replace him with a draft pick.
No, I'm not fearing
the market value. It says, and I think this is way too low, but is 13.3. I think that's low. I think he's going to be 16. Plus.
I think he's going to be like 15, 16, 17. Would you do it around that number? Remember, the cap's going up a lot, dude.
Yeah, I'd probably consider.
This is if you move off him.
Do you think he's a fit here? And then what kind of injury concerns do you have with him? Because if I recall, he's got some.
No,
he missed. Well, I know. Yeah, he had the collar. He doesn't miss many games.
Look at it.
He missed 1 week in 2021 with COVID. He missed 2 weeks in 2019 with a hamstring.
Oh.
And last year he missed, I think, 7 weeks with the collarbone.
Because he hurt his collarbone.
Broke the collarbone.
He's a very healthy guy.
Yeah.
He doesn't miss
anything. Senor, do you try and always be this dumb? Mike Evans gets hurt. This guy's got a crazy career of not getting hurt. 12 years in the league, he's got a list of 3 injuries, and 2 of them are 1 week long.
And one was a shoulder, not a knee.
I mean, come on, Senor.
He has a history. You mean he has a history?
Senor?
He has a history of production. That's what he has a hit. By the way, if Mike Evans called it a career today, he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. Don't you want? If you're replacing AJ, I'm replacing him with a presence. And by the way,
I agree with you on that perspective for sure.
AJ Brown with Devontae Smith, bro. You imagine the impact he would have on all your young wideouts too, that you would bring in. Dude, he is a great locker room guy. He's not going to bitch about targets. You know why? Fucking this guy, he's got all his targets. He's got all his numbers. He's got all of his records. He's got 100 catches. And
Yeah.
at the end of the day, guess what?
He wants
A.J.
to
Brown,
win.
He wants one more ring. That's what Derek Gilmore told me. He wants to win. He asked me, what do you think Philly would do?
Now, here's the question. Here's another. All right, so on that, he wants to win again. And this is a big question, and I think everybody should think about this if you're listening. For somebody that wants to win, a year ago, this wasn't a question. If you wanted to win, coming to Philly was a great option.
Yep.
And that was widely believed across the league.
Yep.
Do you think that belief still exists? I do, but I'm asking the question.
If I'm A.J. Brown, winning is not enough anymore. Legacy's more.
Yeah, but for Mike Evans, who wants to win, that's not what I asked. I asked if you're a guy who wants to win.
Yeah.
Forget the legacy. Is Philly still a marquee spot? Or do you think Mike looks and says, I don't know, man, that's a whole new offensive staff. They've really struggled on that team. I think their best days are behind them.
Really? Well, who's your new passing coordinator again?
Josh Grizzo. Oh.
Where was he last?
Did Mike like Josh?
Loved him. Never thought he was
right?
Never thought he was the problem. Never thought he was the problem. Remember, Mike Evans was running off the field after Atlanta and said this, 3rd and 28. 3rd and 28. Defense gave a 3rd and 28 up, or they win Atlanta. They win the South. Mike was pissed at the defense. He wasn't pissed at the offense.
All right.
Josh Grizzard, if he had played a full season, Mike would have got 1,200 yards this year. Okay? He would have. He would have had another 1,000 yards. He would have broke Rice's record. I think he's got here. I'll make a is he as good as Devontae Adams?
No, not talent, not like upside wise, but stability wise. I mean, you can make that case. He's like the steady Eddie, you know. Devontae had higher peaks for sure.
I don't think he's as good as Devontae.
No, dude, Devontae Adams is wicked good. Devontae Adams in his prime is one of my favorite receivers.
I think you're dismissing how good Mike Evans is.
No, I'm not. I know how good he is, but Devontae Adams is pretty fucking good, dude.
He is. I mean, I think he's a more skilled guy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think he's a more skilled guy. Doesn't mean he's been more successful, which he's probably has, but
okay, rank these decisions that Howie has. Jaelan Phillips, Kobe Dean, Reed Blankenship, Dallas Goedert, Jalen Hurts.
Very Hurtsy in there. You threw Hurtsy boy in there.
I added that.
I saw it. I could see it on your face. You're like, "Ooh, I got a little fire."
I had to add that. I had to put that in there. I
got a couple extra dry leaves to throw on the fire.
There you go.
Dry twigs. Rank them in terms of what?
Importance. This offseason.
AJ's got to be 1.
AJ.
Jaelan Phillips got to be 2. Too hard to replace. Very hard to replace, I think, Jaelan Phillips. It's probably the biggest thing. 3 is the quarterback. Because if you don't do the quarterback deal this summer, it's not that anything. No, there's no alarm sounded. But I think it does put a small. All right, the Eagles are in wait and see mode on Jalen, and I think that's a little bit of a sign.
Well,
4,
I think that's an alarm.
4, I would say. Reed, simply because you don't have the replacement right now.
Okay, I think he's the most replaceable guy in your football team.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? Like, you don't have it. Like, Nakobe's tough to replace, but you do have Jahad Campbell. That's where I'm like, if Reed does go, you got to make a move. You got to figure something out.
You got Goddard last.
I probably should have had Goddard a little higher here. I did this off the top of my head. I'd probably lower Hurts a little bit. Maybe put Goddard and Reed above him. But that would make Hurts the last thing.
I think Hurts is the last thing.
Yeah, maybe he is. Yeah, but I think there's ripple effects of no deal for Hurts.
But wait, this is the Brady factor. Brady was always the last thing in New England. He was never the top thing. And this is how they won games. Remember, Zander, Tom Brady never was the highest paid player in the history of the NFL in New England. He only got his money in Tampa. When he signed that $44 million deal, he got his money in Tampa. He was never the highest paid guy. And it afforded New England and Caserio and Pioli all that lateral move, be able to move guys around and build the football team. Hurts' strength that he has right now, and you know what his value is? His deal. His contract is his value because he's not demanding a new contract. He's not demanding restructuring. They're not even off. Get this. What's crazy is the Eagles aren't even offering it. And you know what I think that has a lot to do with? Bro, when you have a no trade clause in your contract, this is what makes Bryce Harper, as Angelo said, a pussy. You know what makes?
Gosh, I don't even want to think.
You know what? You know what makes him so awful is that, bro. When Dave Dombrowski was talking about, he never went down the lane of trading him because Bryce has a no trade in his deal. Not trading him. I mean, by the way, the Philadelphia media not covering the Nick Castellanos deal. Now they're piling on. Castellanos is a dick. Okay. Great. You should have reported it at the beginning that he was a dick, not after the fact.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Give me a break, man. All right.
It's literally ridiculous.
Doesn't it show you how the media now is controlled by these teams?
Oh, 100%. 100%. I've known this for quite a bit now.
Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis. Do you think they give any one of those guys money? And I'm going to tell you before you answer. I don't believe they're going to redo any of their contracts this offseason.
Davis or Carter?
Yep.
Nah, you're wrong.
Okay.
You're wrong. One of them has to come.
All right.
And I got news. If you get the week one and Jordan Davis isn't signed, you could probably kiss Jordan Davis goodbye at the end of the year.
And you think somebody will give him a $20 million deal for a guy who plays first and second down?
I think there's a lot of dumb teams in the league, and somebody's going to give him cash. Hey, you balked at me yesterday when I said 15. Now you're making the case.
I don't know what you're talking about. All I'm saying,
on the freaking seesaw at the local park.
Hold on here, man. I don't. Okay. Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis. So, isn't this the time frame you guys did that Zach Bond deal?
Yeah, but he was a 1 year. He was a 1 year prove it deal before the year, so that was a different situation.
Okay, so am I right when I say this? Then correct me if I'm wrong. Jordan Davis is going to go into this year if they don't redo the deal, and he's going into his 5th-year deal in 27.
This is his 5th year.
This is his 5th
year. Yeah, this was right now.
Okay,
26.
So he's basically on a 1-year deal.
He is, but you can't just leave out the con. He's a first-round draft pick.
Okay,
if you don't give somebody an extension, though, it's different than signing Zach Bond from the Saints.
What I'm saying is, if they don't address it now, at the end of the 26th season, he's a free agent this time next year.
Yeah, but why would he do the deal that Zach Bond did? Zach Bond didn't have to sign 10 days before free agency.
No. Before the new year starts, I'm saying that's when he signed, before the new year started.
But why do you think Jordan Davis would give us that?
Okay, well, here, why would you
if I'm a first-round pick,
why would you let this go on into the offseason when I got other pressing needs too to do? What I'm saying, how come it hasn't been addressed now? What are they waiting for? What are the Eagles waiting for right now?
It's going to come this summer. It's February.
Summer.
How many extensions come in February? Who else?
I saw Zach Bonds, and I also saw Cam Jurgens. When did Cam get his deal done?
All right,
And he
what
was a
about this
second
summer?
rounder.
Has a single team extended a player this summer?
Let's see.
Mahomes, they just redid Mahomes' deal, but they didn't
Today.
extend it. It just restructured.
Restructured it. It cleared up $44 million, $43 million today.
Yeah, another indication the cap is fake.
That's correct.
Snap your fingers
Don't
and
get
44
caught in the money. That's
yeah,
right.
44 is
Don't get
available.
caught in the money here. Okay. So when do you see these deals coming?
JD will be soon, I think, in the next month or two.
Okay. When is Carter's coming?
Carter, I think they might pick up the 5th year. I think there's a little bit of hardball going on behind the scenes between those two camps. I'd love for you to try and reach out to Drew and see if you can uncover some stuff.
I will.
Because I'm of the and I haven't been told this or anything. I'm of the belief that Drew Rosenhaus is very upset with how much they played him. That's why he kept him out of the Giants game for the foot. That's why he did the shoulder thing. That was abrupt in the middle of the year. Missed however many games he missed. I think that was intentional to some extent. And I think the organization is saying, I haven't been proven yet that I'm going to give him the big deal. And Drew was like, you played the fucking guy 99% of the snaps. I think there's some contention between those two camps right now.
I'm going to ask you a question for two different dudes here, and they're the same two players. What do you think the priority is for Howie Roseman? Jalen Carter, Jaelan Phillips, or Jordan Davis?
Well, if you go off the history, the two guys in the interior are the priority, right?
Okay.
Well, think about it. He drafted Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter, with top 13 picks.
Okay.
Nolan Smith was taken at 31. Jaelan Phillips was traded for in the aftermarket. Josh Sweat they let walk.
Okay.
When's the last first-round draft pick the Eagles have used that on edge rusher? Nolan Smith. It was Nolan Smith. Before Nolan Smith, who was it?
I think it was Derek Barnett.
Yep.
Okay.
Josh Sweat was the second-round pick, I think.
Josh Sweat was a
fourth-round pick.
Yep.
Yep, because he had the knee, because he had the injury concerns.
At FSU. He actually got hurt in high school.
Yeah, at major, like it almost career-ending. Yeah, it was a crazy knee injury. Yep.
Yeah. All right. So who do you think the number one priority is for Drew Rosenhaus to get a deal done first? Jalen Carter or Jaelan Phillips?
Well, Phillips is due because he's a free agent. But Carter is probably the bigger bag of money. And he's technically due, too, if you're an agent. Well, I'll ask you this. Which one makes Drew Rosenhaus more dough?
Good question. How much do you think Jalen Carter's going to get over 4 years?
120? 125?
Okay. How much do you think right there? Okay. Drew Rosenhaus makes $6.5 million off that deal.
That's it?
Well, he makes 5.5. He don't make 10%. He makes 5.5%. So he's probably going to get $7 million, something like that.
Seven or eight, yeah.
Yeah, $7 or $8 million. Okay.
5 years, 150. Oh, KCA, that's a big commitment, man, for a player that hasn't really proven the discipline, hasn't really done the things you want him to do to earn that type of deal. That's a buku bucks type of deal. 5 for 150. KCA Eagle puts in the chat.
I think Becky Gardenhire from William Morris represents Jordan Davis. Very respectable. She's really done a really nice job with her clients. She's one of the more up-and-coming people. She's not quite Nicole Lynn. Nicole Lynn, by the way, got elevated to presidency of Clutch Sports. So she's now a player. I like the way she operates. She operates quietly. She doesn't fucking make a lot of noise. She's not like that dickhead in fucking Houston, Magawa, who constantly makes noise.
Yeah.
He is terrible how he negotiates. I mean,
would you take ready for this? Would you take this if you're Drew Rosenhaus? Here's my offer to Jalen Carter this summer. 3 years, not 4, not 5. $100 million. I'll give you $60 million guaranteed.
I'll tell you why I
That's
like
33-3 a year.
and what is the
Highest paid
most
DT in football.
and what makes that more entertaining?
The years. How we
The
will move
years.
on from it.
Well, no, that means I'm not going to fall out of the market. Like if you sign a 5-year contract,
Yeah,
5
right.
years, you're fucking outdated in the marketplace.
Now
3
remember, the thing
years,
with the 5-year deal is it gives Howie more flexibility.
yeah, but
Like
that's more bag of money too up front.
it's bag of money up front, but if the owner says stroke the check up front, I'm good with it. And then you can manage the cap on the back end. 5 years gives Howie more room to play than 3 years does. I mean, if he's got a 5-year deal, Howie's stretching that bitch to 2042.
Yeah. You'll drop about 5 more voids in there.
Yeah, right.
How do you think the new offensive coaches are going to mesh with the current talent that they have on offense?
I don't know. It's going to be interesting. A bunch of proven players that have achieved quite a bit. Quite a bit.
More than
I
the
mean, not
staff.
well, wait, it's not even in the league. Like if you're the staff, you're probably asking them questions.
Yeah. Yeah. You're the staff is looking at what do you make of this? Do you think we should slip block or reach block here? That's
I
what
mean,
I'd
that's
be
what I mean.
asking.
Like if this is what I said about Jalen, like where if I'm in Cancun and they call me and tell me Parks Frazier, dude, the same goes for the OC. Like I know some people don't like Jalen or some people love Jalen. Here's an objective fact. A fact. Sean Mannion can't hold a God blessed candle
No,
to what Jalen Hurts has accomplished as a quarterback in the National Football League.
that's
Not a
correct.
candle. Not a candle. You don't think a player thinks about that? I
Oh,
don't know.
completely. Completely. Let me ask you this. Let's go around the NFC East for a second. Then don't forget we got Battle Royale. What do you make of the Giants? What's their biggest concerns going into this year? What do you think the New York Giants? How do you think and how do you look at them? They built a really nice staff. They're probably going to add another weapon on offense. They may add
Yep.
another linebacker here.
They need a linebacker. They need linebackers in secondary in New York. They have great defensive line. Offensive line has gotten better, but it's still pretty shoddy. I still have questions on Jackson Dart, but I'll say this. I don't have them finishing fourth in the East in my early NFC East rankings. I don't have them finishing fourth. I think Harbaugh is a legit guy. I think the coaching staff they've assembled is quite frankly pretty impressive. And I think they're going to be a contender, but I'm a little iffy on Jackson Dart, dude. There's what do people always say about Hurts, right? They say, "Oh, he's great athlete, but he struggles with the pass game." Well, Jackson Dart struggles with it more than Jalen Hurts does. He struggled with it way more than Hurts does last year.
Agreed.
So I know he can make plays when it breaks down, but all right, now there's some tape on him. That doesn't work forever in the NFL. You better learn to beat a defense from the pocket. I don't know if he can do that.
Okay. I got one here for you too. Commanders. Was that a one of? Can they rebuild their defense? And do you think Jaden Daniels gets back to his form of a rookie season?
All right, so I'm going to contradict myself in this answer a little bit. I think Jaden Daniels is a great player, and I think he's going to have a better year. I do. I think he's a good quarterback. I do. I don't think he's a one-year wonder. I think he's a good player. I think that team is still going down.
Huh.
I don't think he's good enough to. I think he's a good player. I don't think he's good enough to fix all the problems. I think they made every mistake possible last year in the retooling of the roster. I thought they paid Terry McLaurin too late and too much money. I think they're tied up in a bunch of older players who really aren't performing like they should be performing. All their best players are 29 or old. I mean, their best defensive tackles too, Deron Payne.
Yeah.
I mean, they got rid of Jonathan Allen. I don't see the pressure that they need on the defensive line. Their offensive line, they did some good things, but again, their biggest acquisition last year was Laramie Tunsil, who's 30-something years old. I know they got Josh Connerly in the draft. He could be a solid player, but I don't like what they did with their roster, dude. I really think he botched it.
What do you make of Brian Schottenheimer as a head coach in Dallas?
Pretty good. Pretty good.
You think
I
he's
mean, I thought he had a
underrated?
good year one. Well, I don't think he's done enough yet to say that, but I thought he had a good first year. I mean, I'd say this. When they first hired him, I was like, ooh, that's an interesting hire. Jerry hire,
Yeah,
probably
right.
somebody that wants a lackey, but I thought he did good. I mean, dude, he had the number one offensive football. He's an offensive guy. I mean, I think that's pretty good, right? But
Yeah.
as a head coach, there's more to it than just your offense, and I think he's still got some learning to do. But I can't put that defense on him. I can't. That defense stunk.
An Eagle question for you on Nick. So if Vic leaves, first, do you think Nick has hired all of these offensive coaches?
I actually think he's had more to do with it this year because I believe that the owner wants him out on an island. I do. And I
Okay.
think they gave him a little bit more of it to fix. But I do think they gave him like the overwhelming parameter of like, we need change. Like the Jeffrey Lurie up top. Like, you can pick your coaches, but you're not running your shit offense again. It's like, well, what the hell? But that's kind of what I think the setup is. It's an interesting setup. We'll see.
Okay, so do you think Nick then would make the hire of the new defensive coordinator?
If they have a successful season, yeah, I do.
Well, here's my
But maybe
problem.
not. I don't know.
But here's my problem: hit or miss, hit or miss, hit. Or this guy's like in a bowling alley.
Well, who
Either he
hired Vic?
strikes or he hits a gutter.
I mean, Vic is a tough one to gauge because the organization's always wanted Vic.
So then you don't think Vic was hired by Nick?
Well, I think I mean, why would Nick say no to Vic? Give me that answer.
Oh no, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that when he leaves, because the almighty Nick Sirianni, the greatness of Nick Sirianni.
I don't get you guys. I don't get you. I don't get the people in the chat. I don't get Philly fans. I mean, they talk like Nick Sirianni is literally a fucking stooge. The guy is literally fucking wins more football games than any other coach in the league. The guy's been in 2 bowls. Oh yeah, you can have a stooge for a coach. And I mean, come on, it doesn't add up. How many times do I have to say this summer? It doesn't add up.
He's a hamster in the wheel.
Yeah. So ready by Sill's account and everybody in the chat.
Hey,
the quarterback is a hamster in the wheel. The coach is a hamster. This is the only team in the history of football that's ever had a caboose as a coach and a quarterback and be as successful as they are.
Before I go to these two guys, I want you to do one last thing for me in the offense. One last thing. Who's the best player on the offense right now?
Yeah. Best player on offense?
Yeah.
Devontae Smith?
I'm going to go AJ.
I'll stay AJ too.
I'll go.
Look at Philly in the chat. Coach is a dope.
Watch this. Hang on here. Watch this. AJ. Second one's Mulata. Third one's Lane. Fourth one's Devontae. Fifth one is Barkley. Sixth one's the quarterback. So fuck, dude. There's your hamster in the wheel.
Obnoxious. Philly, I know you don't even believe that Nick Sirianni's a dope. He is a silly dude, and he's not my type. I've said that 100 times. He's a weirdo. The success is the success. I don't know what you want from me.
All right. Do we have any?
I mean, you think? Wait. You guys really think 5'6" Howie Roseman in his little button-up shirt?
Yeah.
Is the reason that the Eagles? I mean, come on. Come on. He's a big part of it, but come on, Sills.
I think Clive Roseman is absolutely
5'6" Roseman is the reason we got Super Bowl.
Hey.
All right, dude, I'm out of here.
All right,
you're making the boys wait.
I got you, bro. All right, we good?
We're good, brother. I'll see you. All right, man.
I got you, man. I'll read the supers later. Got you, man. All right. Yes, sir. It's Ash Wednesday. I got to be a good guy. without further ado, by the way, Dallas Cowboys, I'm going to make a comment here before I bring in Mark Combs. And I think this is going to make Mark Combs feel pretty damn good. I think the Cowboys are 2 players away from going to a divisional round game. If they put Max Crosby on that team, or they put Max Crosby and Nakobe Dean on that team, okay, you got Nakobe and you have Max Crosby. The Cowboys are going to a divisional game. And and get this, what could happen without further ado? One team on the up, the Dallas Cowboys. The other team in decline. You figure which one out. We bring in the legendary Mark Combs, one of the great creators of content for the Dallas Cowboys, and my friend, the legend himself, Philly.